I'd like to officially welcome you all to this wonderful 2211 event this evening, to our gathering, and to the work that we're going to do, which from the energies, the way that they have actually been today, there's been a lot of fluctuation. I really sense that it is going to be quite an intensely powerful event. And I just want to go through a little bit of preamble with it being late in the evening, certainly for people in Europe and the UK. I don't want to spend too much time on the preamble. And for those of you who haven't attended one of these Diamond Light gatherings before, I usually give some notes and some information to provide a bit of perspective for the process that we're actually going to undertake. So I do take the first 15 minutes or so to share that with you. So I hope you'll actually bear with me. There's been a lot of emails that I've actually picked up today from various people, all talking about the energies of the moment, about this particular day, about the newness of the energy. There are some sources talking about it being sixth dimensional energy. There are other sources talking about it being ninth dimensional energy. Other sources just talking about it being very, very new, and they don't know where it's from, but it's certainly incredibly intense. So there's a lot of stuff out there, and there's messages as well about us needing the strength to be able to run a gauntlet. Basically, that was one of the descriptions that I picked up. And I thought, well, how appropriate to the work that we're doing? Because strength is not only the physical strength that we actually get from the root chakra, it is also the staying power, the commitment, the dedication, which comes from the willpower aspect of the solar plexus chakra. So this guidance in terms of working with the solar plexus seems to align with what all of the other empaths and, if you like, channelers are actually picking up about the nature of the energies as they are at the moment and what we need to do in order to align ourselves with them. But by all accounts, what is required of us is discipline, staying power, stamina, focus, determination, the ability to take responsibility, to step up, to be in our power, because all of those qualities are actually required of us if we are going to develop not only our own personal foundations, but to be able to lay the foundations, to develop the foundations for recreating what we want to see on our planet, the kind of life, the kind of communities, the kind of relationships that we actually want to be a part of as we recreate Earth, essentially, in partnership with Gaia. So that is really what we're doing. Um, Productivity is another word that kind of describes what is going to be required of us. Efficiency in the new energies, being able to work and flow with the energies effectively. So all of this requires a strength in the solar plexus chakra. So this next slide that I've actually just put together for you, I'm sure most of you are very, very familiar with the chakra system. So I don't want to go into too much detail on it. Now, you know that we work with the diamond, and the thing about understanding the chakras in the diamond is that for the diamond and our personal diamond light grid to ultimately develop to its fullest capacity, for it to be anchored within and through our energy bodies and our physical body, all of our chakras need to be cleansed and aligned. So it doesn't negate the chakras, but ultimately, when our chakras are actually fully matured, developed, healed, stable, the diamond light grid will actually then take over in terms of our means of communicating with the information flow around us. At the moment, we're taking in a lot of information still through our chakra system. So we are doing a lot of cleansing. Now, in the field that we are in, a lot of you are healers, a lot of you are doing service work, a lot of you are doing psychic work. So there's a lot of focus on the crown chakra, there's a lot of focus on the heart, there's been a lot of focus on stabilizing the root chakra. So we have been putting focus on some of the individual chakras in terms of developing them. By all accounts, and this is all of the literature and all of the work that that I have done over the years and understand about the solar plexus chakra is it is the most difficult chakra to actually clear and to develop fully. It is probably the final one to reach maturity after we have balanced, cleared, and cleansed all of the others. So even the work that we're going to do this evening is really just a layer, sort of taking our relationship with the solar plexus chakra to another level. We're working with it at one layer of being. That I think it helps to perhaps understand the importance of the solar plexus, because this is essentially the seat of our personal power. This is where our personal power center sits. It's what drives our ability to take responsibility, our ability to remain committed to our vision, and to our path in life and to our role, and it's what gives us clarity of purpose. This is really where it is. There's a comment in here. Does this affect our animals too? Yes. Male kitty Indy was passing crystals in his urine, required an emergency visit to the vet this morning. Absolutely. Everything that we are going through is affecting all of the life forms on the planet. Absolutely. And of course, the solar plexus chakra, one of the things that I've actually put here, is linked with the activities of the kidneys. And the kidneys are about urine fluid, detoxing the body, and moving fluid and toxins out of the body, which is one of the reasons why there's a powerful link as well between the solar plexus and the skin. Because if we are struggling with anxiety, with solar plexus issues, our kidneys go into overload, and then everything that our body needs to shift or to move gets dumped out through the skin. So that's why with eczema and conditions like that, skin conditions, there is normally a link back to the solar plexus. So skin brushing is brilliant. All of those things that help us to release the toxins from the body, drinking water, keeping the kidneys healthy. But at this place and space, what we are doing is we're going to be working with the energetic level and the connection of the solar plexus with the organs of the body and with the nerve plexus and nerve network. So we know that the solar plexus is in the region of the diaphragm. So it's just below the heart. And usually if we start feeling anxiety, if we start feeling issues of self-worth, of low value, it's one of the first places where we feel a tightness. And that's something that I've been aware of on and off in the past week or so. A tightness in the solar plexus. It kind of like closes down. It's like we lock into those old patterns, or if we're not feeling that we are worthy of doing what we're doing, it can inhibit us in terms of stepping into our purpose as part of the greater vision, stepping forward, being visible in the world. There's so many issues that are linked with this particular plexus, and the issues of personal power. It governs the stomach, the spleen, the kidneys, the skin, and the upper digestive system. And those are the main organs that it governs. So any imbalances in those particular organs or in those particular areas of the body, you can essentially link back to one of these psychological or emotional issues that's associated with the solar plexus. And those go along with things like responsibility, how we take responsibility for our lives, for our actions. It's our links with authority, and this is a really significant one, because authority, there's been work done, psychological work that's been done, and if you want to Google it, the Milgram experiments that I think were done a few decades ago were exceptionally revealing in relationship to people in general, and how they reacted or responded to orders that were given by a person that was perceived as an authority. And this is where we come under the spell of control, and where very often our power gets given away, and sometimes without us even realizing it. But what happened in the Milgram experiments, I don't want to go into too much detail, but it was a blind experiment. They had an authority figure there with a white lab coat and what have you, and he was the one running the experiments. And they had university students and engineers and a selection of ordinary people in one room, and in another room they had, in a hidden room, another sort of test subject. But the guys that were actually being overseen by this authority figure were told that they were to administer electric shocks using a machine that was sitting in front of them. And it was all a dud, because it wasn't actually administering the shocks ultimately, but the guy who was in the other room was shouting every time they pushed the button as if he was receiving a shock. So those that were actually in front of the equipment thought that that's what they were doing. But what they found was, under the orders of the authority figure that was actually standing there, a frighteningly high percentage of people continued delivering electric shocks to this unknown subject that they couldn't see, up to a level which would have been detrimental to the average human being. And that was only because it was an order given by a perceived authority figure. And they tried this experiment, different versions of it in different ways. And what they found, very interestingly, was if this so-called authority figure who was giving the instructions and the orders was dressed like Joe Soap and not wearing a uniform or anything that's sort of made him stand apart from the rest of the crowd, that he didn't carry the same weight, and that there were more people who actually resisted the instructions, who balked against the orders, who rebelled against that perceived authority. But for the most part, the percentage of people who actually followed orders and instructions was as high as sometimes up to 90%. So very, very few people questioned it. And this is one of the things that I really would say in terms of our balancing the solar plexus, because it's our relationship with all of the perceived authority figures in our life. It's how we react and respond when we see somebody in a uniform, or lawyers or whatever interacting with us. What happens with our personal power? And it usually involves a draining of energy from the solar plexus. So we usually do, in some way, shape, or form, give our power over to an external authority. And it's almost like people as such have been hardwired or programmed to do this. And a lot of that programming has actually been inherited from generations of programming, from ancestors. It's not just something that is this lifetime, it's something that we have inherited. So the clearing and the cleansing and the rebalancing that we are doing of the solar plexus is enormous. It's multi-generational, and there are huge, huge links with authority. Now, ultimately, when we are in our personal power, our authority becomes our highest self, our guidance, our divine authority. And that is really the way that it needs to be for our world to be able to be recreated along the lines of whatever it is that we envision for it, for the peace and the harmony and everything else. So I just really wanted to expand on that a little bit more for you, because this concept of authority is really quite a massive one as far as this plexus is concerned. There are issues and emotional content of shame that gets caught up in the solar plexus, secrets and hiding, confidence, self-worth and value, how we feel about ourselves, how willing are we to step forward, to step out, to be visible, to stand in our power. We use these throwaway terms actually quite liberally, but we very seldom take the time, I think, to sit down and examine what it is that it really means, and how our energies either support us or sabotage us in being able to do that. It is about willpower, it's about our personal power, it is also about creativity, happiness, and ease. And when we can release the anxiety, any anxiety that we feel, we will experience a greater ease and grace in how we flow through life. So this is really how we tie it into the first session that we did on 1111. And this is probably the most important bridge of love that we can build, is that between the heart and the solar plexus, because of the importance of this. And as I said earlier, it's probably one of the last energy centers to fully mature. And it's how we understand our power as a consequence. So I hope that makes some sense for you. And this is one thing that I actually found just very briefly, and I loved it. This guy, Jeff Brown, his website is soulshaping.com. I know the text isn't hugely clear on this. But Jeff Brown, I loved. You know, we talk a lot, and there's a lot of people that talk about the spiritual warriors, and we love to sort of adopt this label and to understand ourselves as spiritual warriors. And we kind of go, yeah, yeah. And he wrote this, and I thought, I love it because the concept of the spiritual warrior is closely intertwined with this issue of power and authority and the solar plexus. And he says, the path of the spiritual warrior is not soft and sweet. It is not artificially blissful and pretend forgiving. It is not fearful of divisiveness. It is not afraid of its own shadow. It is not afraid of losing popularity when it speaks its truth. It will not beat around the bush where directness is essential. It has no regard for vested interests or agendas that cause suffering. It is benevolent, and this is the grace element. It is benevolent and it is fiery and it is cuttingly honest in its efforts to liberate itself and humanity from the egoic ties that bind. Shunning strong opinions in the name of spirituality is anti-spiritual. Spirituality that is only floaty soft is a recipe for disaster, allowing all manner of manipulation to run amok. And this is one of the issues as well that links in with the solar plexus is manipulation, because when we are weak in that area, we become more easily manipulated. Real spirituality is a quest for truth in all its forms, and sometimes we find the truth on the meditation cushion, sometimes we find it in the heart of conflict. May all spiritual warriors rise into fullness. This planet is lost without them. So, together on the call, this is how I see the Diamond Light community as a developing community of spiritual warriors. Through the search for the truth, through the clarity of the diamond, we are given access to greater and greater levels of truth. And in the development of the diamond, we have this realignment and this powerful readjustment of all of our chakra centers. We have the ability to be able to harness stronger energy. So with the spiritual warrior, we have the grace of benevolence, hence I've put the picture of the white rose there. And we have the integrity and the structure and the firmness of crystal. And this is, you know, sort of becoming crystalline in nature, which is what a lot of people, you know, are sort of talking about, has a lot more connotations to it than simply a fluffy concept and that we're going to become one with God. In order to be able to do that, we have to express the divine fully in everything that we do, in every way in our lives. So I hope that that also just adds another dimension and another level of understanding. How are you feeling about it? You guys okay? Not to waste too much of your time because we're already at 25 past 10. There's a few people typing, yep. Yes, thank you. That's fab. You know, I wrote in the email note, Cynthia. Oh, I'm so pleased you're here as well. I didn't see you join us. That's great. Very much a truth. Yeah, that's it. Jeff, if I can actually recommend to all of you, this guy's website is fantastic. Jeff Brown, soulshaping.com. His writings resonate deeply with truth, and he's written many things, you know, apologies to the divine feminine, and his work is superb. I love it. Yeah, Linda, thank you. Yeah, I think there's people actually finding this guy as well. He's one who has undertaken the journey. He's been there, you know it. His words actually ring. Yeah, very aware of me too, very aware of solar plexus, Annabelle. I can feel it. Now, in the email that I sent out for you, I mentioned the three C's that we were going to work on, which was clarity, confidence, and courage. That this is what we're going to energize through the cleansing of the solar plexus. Well, as I was putting the slides together, I actually thought, you know what, there's a couple more, and I think there's even more than this. But there were two more that I put in here, and the next one was creativity, because the solar plexus is very much about creativity. It's grounding creativity into manifestation. So it's a powerful creative essence. Thank you, Linda. That's a lovely comment. I just want to share that. Linda said, I want to add, I love your work too. And bless you. Thank you. I just love it that you part and parcel of this. I really appreciate you all. My work would be nothing without the people that are actually part and parcel of this community. So we're all in it. But I thank you. Creativity is another one of the energies that is very powerfully aligned with the solar plexus. And I added compassion because we tend to think about compassion as being a heart-based issue. And yes, it is. And I love Andrew Harvey's work in respect of compassion because he refers to compassion as passion in action in the world. Now we can feel compassion with the heart. We can feel the emotion. We can have that feeling of compassion and empathy for people. But without the strength of the solar plexus chakra, without a balanced root chakra, without the willpower, without the courage, we can't take that compassion out into the world. So for me, compassion is also a vital aspect of a balanced, strongly operating solar plexus. So I just give that to you as well for what it's worth. So we've got another comment here. I'd just like to share that with people who are joining in afterwards. Chaos. Oh, thank you, Anne. In the Kali Divine Feminine, great recycler context. Chaos, yes, absolutely. Confusion is another one. All the C's, it's just amazing, actually. I could have probably put a whole list in here. So we've got chaos and we've also got confusion. We don't want to generate confusion. We want the clarity that actually comes from stabilizing the solar plexus chakra. So chaos and confusion are also uh, two of the adverse qualities that we can see manifest. But chaos is also creative. So there's an element of creativity in chaos because out of that comes the impetus and the energy to be able to restore order from the chaos, to find our way through it and find something that we can create in a more solid foundation with, to bring change into the world. Chaos is the precipitator of change, and to be able to bring about change, we need the creative energy. So there's a huge link in with all of these concepts. So this chakra is really, really powerful. And I'm not going to say that the work that we're doing today is going to sort it all out, because this is something that we're going to work with over time with more and more layers. But certainly we have been given, if you like, a divine dispensation with the energies of the moment to be able to align ourselves to bring in a new level of order, to bring in some healing with which we can step over the threshold. This is another thing about the energies at the moment. It is rather chaotic, but there is this sense, this absolute sense of something vital and something new that is about to emerge. So the chaos is actually very relevant. And we don't quite know what the shape of that is at the moment, but we're standing on the threshold of walking into it. We're standing on the threshold of actually being able to create a new foundation from the chaos that we're actually seeing. We're standing on the threshold of our powerful creativity and the confidence to use it and to express it in many, many vital ways. So yes, today being the new moon, we can actually set our intentions for this particular work. So whatever your intentions are for this, I'd like you to perhaps take a few moments just to think about them and to frame them in your own language. So, associated with the solar plexus, if there's something that you identify as being a key issue for you, is it perhaps the courage to be more visible in the world? Is it the courage to take your creativity out? Is it the courage or the confidence that you're looking for to be able to make a change in your own life, to become part of the expression of the new? So, what is it that is your intention for this time? Because with the new moon, we have the opportunity to broadcast that intention. We have the mystic called Column Day, which brings the cosmic energies closer to us, and it actually amplifies our relationship with the cosmos. Um, and we actually have the moon in, or the sun, if you like, in Sagittarius, which is fiery, which is giving energy to all of that. And we have the master number 22, which gives us the energy to bring our visions into manifestation, to move into the doing aspect of the cycle. So we just have a huge dispensation and opportunity, a window at this moment in time. So I'd like to just give you a few moments to sit with that so that you can just formulate your intention ultimately for this process in your own words, in your own mind. And I'll just have a quick drink of water. So if you guys are all ready, are you all comfortable? Hopefully you can see how the rose is still relevant in terms of the role that it plays in this process, because it's our link into grace. And just to share with you finally the white peacock again, just to reinforce this. The white peacock, by the way, it is a real creature. This is a photograph and not a drawing or a picture. It is a real animal. And they are just magnificent. And this, sort of tail spread with all of the beautiful eyes on the tail. So, our guardian animal for this work, we're talking about refinement, we're talking about beauty. So it supports us in finding the beauty, the love, and helping us to refine the energies of the solar plexus. And that can sometimes feel very raw in terms of its emotional connection and content. Integrity, powerful, powerful. Reminds of the unicorn. Yes, there's something very, very magical about the white peacock. It's something that have been particularly drawn to just recently. So it is about spiritual royalty. It is about vision. It is about spiritual integrity. And in order for us to hold that integrity, we need to strengthen and cleanse and clear the solar plexus. So that's really how those two elements, there is a continuation from the initial work that we did. So I'm sure you're all quite fine with that. I'm not going to waffle anymore because I've waffled for long enough. So if you're all ready, then I would like you to make sure that you're comfortable. And as we move into the process, just gently close your eyes and simply begin by taking some long, slow, deep breaths in and out. As you allow your body to rest into this powerful moment of the dark moon, as they call it, the new moon. that gives us the opportunity to imprint our intentions upon the cosmic fabric. So just breathe in and out. As you relax and you breathe out any stress or tension. And in this moment and in this space, feel your solar plexus center beginning to ease, beginning to discharge any anxiety, beginning to soften. And one more deep breath in, and on the out breath, consciously release any remaining tension right from the tip of your toes all the way out on your breath. And whichever way you are comfortable, whether you step into it or whether you visualize it forming around you, create now your diamond. And again, your octahedron forms around you such that it takes on the shape of two pyramids base to base and connects with its center point at the base of your spine, connecting to your soul star above your head and your earth star below your feet. And expand your breathing so that your diamond becomes one with you, pulsing in rhythm with your breath, which is eased into a natural flow that is without any stress or strain and perfect for you. So watch your diamond pulsing and breathing with you. And as you connect with your diamond, your awareness expands so that within your grid and externally, within the greater diamond grids, just become aware of those bridges of grace that were created during the first session, the bridges within your own diamond and the bridges connecting individual diamonds through the grid, allowing for a flow of divine grace and healing for all who are open and receptive to it, whether in this dimension or beyond. Just take a look and feel the love and gratitude from those who have been able to access the benevolent essence and energy of grace and divine love through the work that you have been prepared to do and to undertake. Just allow yourself for the moment to feel and to know that gratitude to you and for you. And in this space now, take your consciousness into your heart, where during the 11:11 you placed a beautiful white rose, that symbolic, energetic rose that would hold you and hold your heart in the space of grace. Just connect with that and feel the softness, the flow, and the expansiveness as that flower blooms and opens, reconnecting you personally with the flow of divine grace through your heart. And we strengthen that flow by taking attention up to the crown center and up beyond into the soul star energy center. And in both of those centers, there's a white rose. And as your consciousness connects with it, the flower opens like an infinite fractal, showing you that the source of this divine essence and flow is indeed eternal. And you are connected to the realms of higher selves beyond that with which you are already familiar, to the highest levels of yourself, to aspects of self not yet made manifest in physical form. And through all of these grand, magnificent facets of your being flows the divine light of grace, guided by the blooms of the rose, and they flow down so that you are effectively being nourished by your highest selves as this flow gently moves through your crown and down into your heart. And your heart field expands even more. And your diamond is filled with a pulsing, brilliant white light. And let's call on the energy of the white peacock as the guardian to assist and support us in the cleansing and the clearing, and in the manifestation of the intention that we have each individually set for this process. And in whichever way the peacock presents itself to you, just spend a few moments connecting with and communicating with it, listening for what it has to share with you. And in this safe space now, we're going to take our consciousness into the solar plexus area. So allow all of your consciousness to move within your physical body into the area of the plexus, into the area of your diaphragm, and spend a few moments exploring this particular chakra. And don't forget that the chakras also extend front and back. So have a look at the energetic integrity of this particular chakra from within your own body. How does it look? How does it feel at this moment in time? If the energy is moving, how is it moving? Is it spiraling? Is it lopsided? Is it stuck? Just place your consciousness into the area. And now move your consciousness into the organs that are supported by this energy center, into the stomach, into the spleen, into the kidneys, into the skin on your body, into your digestive system. And spend a little time with each one and really connect with the cellular structures of your body in each of these organs, and listen to what your body has to communicate to you about what emotional content is being transmitted or processed through each of those organs. I'm just going to leave you for a few moments to do your inner exploration. You may want to look for dark spots, for tightness, constriction. Ask what thoughts you may be contributing to however each of these organs of your body is functioning at the moment, and how your thoughts are also governing the activity of your solar plexus. And in this area of your body is a very powerful nerve junction where a huge number of neural connections are made between various other parts of your body. So what happens here becomes transmitted or broadcast to the rest of your body. So what happens here becomes indicative of how you are able to digest all of the experiences of life. So take a look now into all of the nerve connections and ask to be shown where there are neural connections or time loops that are keeping you locked into certain patterns, behaviors, thoughts, or emotions. These may not be consciously yours, they may be contributed from your ancestral lineage. They may be as a result of soul imprints, but just simply explore these neural connections and look for the time loops that keep energy cycling in a very specific pattern. And as a result of these time loops now, you notice that there are threads emanating as an extension of your nervous system, as an extension of these neural connections through your solar plexus chakra, back and front, in fact, all around you. And they connect you with people, places, circumstances, situations where your power is being drained or given away in some way. So follow these threads and allow your consciousness to be made aware of where your power is actually being siphoned off. Who is involved with it? What is involved with it? What behaviors of yours contribute towards it? There is no judgment in this. For now, you are going to take your attention back to the white rose within your heart and that flow of divine grace. And you're going to build a bridge between the heart and your solar plexus so that that light and that flow of love and grace now flows into your solar plexus center. And you feel yourself already becoming stronger as you stand in the flow of your highest expression of this benevolent, loving energy. You can feel the strength in it. It also shines a light of clarity onto the circumstances and situations, and it brings in the deepest of love and acknowledgement of yourself. And as this light flows through, first see it flowing through the nerve plexus, and where there may be tangled up or locked in time loops and patterns, the light begins to dissolve and rearrange your nervous system. Allow this to take place so that all becomes aligned and strengthened. with self-love, with divine love. And from this place and space of enhanced and increased light, benevolence, love, and power and strength, you are now going to call or command your power back from every direction, from every dimension, from every place and circumstance where your energy has been leaked into it, where your power has been given away. But you command it back with love because you now own it. And you stand in that light and you now call your power back and watch as the energy flows back to you and into your plexus center, into the organs of your body. Be very aware of what is happening within your physical structure as the energetic changes take place. So call it back, call your power back from your ancestral timelines. Shift your consciousness into the ancestral timelines and call your power back from where it has been entangled with ancestral generational patterns. Call it back. Command it back. Welcome it back into your being. And you see the timelines open up between past and future. And you now command and call your power back from all of these timelines, from previous lives and from future lives, existing on another dimension. Call your power back and note where it's coming back from and what the essence of that power is bringing back to you. Bring it back. Welcome it back into your body. And if at any stage you feel that you need assistance, then call for the assistance and support of our magnificent white peacock. And allow him to help you. And now open up the timelines to all of the alternate dimensions where your power may have been hijacked by non-physical energies or entities or beings. Be aware of where your energy has been siphoned and call it back. Command it back. Welcome it home so that you can hold it within. And it's almost like giving yourself an internal hug. as you're doing this because you embrace and you love every returning aspect with total and complete acceptance and no judgment. You surround those aspects of lost power, of patterns, with love as you welcome them home. And you realize that changes in behavior, changes in your life are going to take place as a consequence of this. But you have the confidence and the courage to step into those changes. And your body becomes a shimmering matrix of millions upon billions of pixels of light. Feel the ease in your solar plexus center, but know that the integration of the new neural connections may take a little time, and that your physical assistance and conscious awareness of this is necessary in order to imprint and stabilize these new connections. So spend a little while with your consciousness focused on your body, listening to the messages it's giving you, and be aware of the most important behavioral changes that you will be required to make in order to step forward with a new foundation in life. And what are the changes that you would need to make, that you have a new confidence for, that will assist you in the realization of the intention that you set? For this is where our work is done. With each small change, we strengthen our power. And instead of being confused about what is needed, you have a new level of clarity about the steps that are important for you to take. For it doesn't need anybody to tell you what it is that you need to do. Your highest authority is now embedded within your cellular matrix and your nervous system, your inner authority. And as the light flows through your nerve plexus and the rest of your nervous system, there is a wisdom that's released from the cells in your body that bubbles up and makes itself known to you. It may be a simple message, just a word, or it may be a collection of words. But there is a deep wisdom that is yours to share with others as a consequence of the strengthening of your power base. Allow this to bubble up and open up for you. Your nervous system will begin to communicate with you in different ways as a consequence of this work. So be aware of the more subtle signals. Be ultra vigilant and conscious, following on from this process. We are also in a window from here until the solstice in December, whereby we're able to make maximum use of the energies of this time, of this gift. And just expand your awareness now from your diamond as you stand in the fullness of your power, of your light, that in this process you have disconnected from the collective matrix. You stand outside of it, feeding your wisdom into it. But you have been able to disconnect from the collective mindsets that govern the thought forms and patterns for the majority of humanity. The fact that you are able to exercise independent thought and stand in your power is more obvious than it has been. It is clearer, and the role that you play in the collective becomes more clearly defined. Your purpose in life is more clearly defined. For the matrix that your energy is connected with and flowing through is of a higher consciousness level. It is the consciousness level of the purity of the diamond, feeding into and supporting the upliftment of the collective matrix grids. And you have been elevated to a new level of power and interaction. Feel it within your being, feel that knowingness and that strength. And finally, we call upon a golden stream of cosmic God particles to be delivered from source through the conduit of your higher selves and the flow of the divine essence. So you watch those golden particles flowing all the way down and seeding into your solar plexus. And there are tiny, minute golden droplets of strength sealing any aberrations dropping into the cells of the organs, restoring balance to the energy flows, nestling into your nerve network so that all communication becomes moderated by the golden wisdom of your source self. Just be aware of the seeding of the golden particles. They also bring with them the power of divine will. For when our personal will is merged with divine will, the impossible becomes possible. Magic becomes an aspect of our lives and is made manifest in the world and in our world. And these golden particles will be triggered whenever there is a tendency to fall back into an old, worn, familiar pattern, something that your body is familiar with. So the minute any neuropeptides get fired up or triggered by circumstances or events or people, those golden particles are going to activate within your solar plexus, and they will assist and support you in maintaining and restoring the strength of your personal power in alignment with divine power, that you will withstand the descent into the old energy. So finally, just breathe those in as you watch them settling into your being, into your plexus. And you feel the ease with which your body is now able to move and flow. The strengthening of this plexus is balanced with its fluidity. And as you take a deep breath in, that clear, beautiful, divine, benevolent light floods your entire body and your diamond as you stand firmly within the energy of grace. And you have the power and the strength to hold and express that grace. You stand in refinement and beauty as you love every experience, every trigger that caused your power to move away at whatever time it did. But you love it with the magnificence and reverence of your highest wisdom that is now embedded within your form. And your guiding peacock stands in front of you and opens up its tail, fans out its feathers, and bows its head in reverence and honor. And you give gratitude and thanks for its support. And before it turns to go away, it allows you to see within the mirror-like eyes of its magnificent tail and its magnificent feathers the reflections of you, the true you, the strong you, the powerful you. So just spend a moment taking a good look at the reflections that are being given back to you at this moment. And be in awe of the beauty of the reality of who you are. And know that it is this beauty and this strength that will guide the actions and the creation of the new foundations as we cross the threshold from this portal. Take a deep breath in and breathe out as you allow your consciousness to become more aligned once more with the physical environment, with your physical space, with your room, the chair, with your body. Become aware of that new strength and confidence that your body is holding. Take a deep breath in again. Breathe out and down. Connect with your Earth Star Center so that you become fully anchored, reconnected with the Earth, the planet. And the power that is you is transmitted throughout the diamond grids. So the power of each of us on this call is amplified as it is shared. Just be aware of that for the moment as you see these brilliant diamonds of light around the world, all sharing in this experience. Notice how their powerful, powerful presence comes into your awareness. Know that you are not alone. You are never alone. And with another deep breath in, you can open your arms and breathe out with a sigh as you allow yourself to open your eyes and you see with a new clarity and you return to this realm. Hmm. Okay, we have a comment in the chat room. What do we got there? Indy is very calm now. What's Indy, Elaine? So this is one of our. Oh, your kitty cat, wonderful. Okay, so your cat was getting your beautiful animal companion was getting the benefits of that too. I was very aware of a digestion, almost yeah, digestion process actually taking place and an absolute easing of the tension that was actually in the solar plexus. Gurgling, yeah, you had that too as all of those old experiences were actually being digested and worked through our system. So it's not just an energy process, it's a very physical process as well. It's very definite, very powerful. Stomach was strange, but completely calm now. Fantastic, because that's what it was about. Yeah, mine is much better. The knot is finally gone that's been there for 3 days. That's wonderful, Elaine. Thank you. Colleen, just what I've needed. Wonderful. Oh, lovely. Cynthia says, I experienced the Christ consciousness in the symbol also being a snake, Kundalini. Cynthia, that's really powerful. Yeah. And that is ultimately sort of the Kundalini, that's the power, the absolute power of the divine expressed through Kundalini. So that sinuous movement of the snake, now there's space and place for that energy to move. How are the rest of you doing? Are you back with us? Did go on a little bit longer than I anticipated or that I thought it might, so I just want to thank you all for staying the course. Ah, that's lovely. Rashida, I've never seen my diamond light so bright before. Oh, fantastic. Cynthia says sparkling. Yep. Oh, lovely, lovely. Because I know I love it. Because I love what I see. And what's it? It's 11:22, and we've just finished. Oh, well spotted, Hilary. You know the synchronicities in this are just beautiful, beautiful. And that was at the time that we were talking about the sparkling diamond. And says I saw us all as huge diamond energy queens and king with diamond crowns sending out the diamond light across the grid. Beautiful, because that is when we own our power, we become those kings and queens, the royalty. Annabelle says, wonderful conclusion to the 11 days. Feel well resourced for the time ahead. Thank you. Oh, lovely. Going to bed. Good night. Good night and sleep well. Maria says, thank you for a beautiful meditation. I feel about 20 feet tall. Fantastic, because that's what I was getting too. Laurie, amazing golden light energy. Thank you so much to sort out. It was very visual. Wonderful. Please feel free to email me. Um, Linda, bless you. Ah, thank you. Thank you all so much, because without you, this wouldn't be. And it is just really, really interesting for me, and it is late, I know. Isabella said, just feeling so white and bright. My cat loved it too. Fantastic. Lot of releasing. I've had digestive issues for a while, so see, I shall digest this evening's white peacock energy as I go to bed. Fantastic. Peacock had so many wonderful words. Love, oh, lovely. I'd love to hear some of your messages and your sort of sharing in emails afterwards. So also please feel free. I am going to say thank you and stop the recording, but I'm going to keep the lines open for those of you who want to share a few more sort of bits in the chat room. So I would just like to officially say thank you to everybody. Thank you so much. Diamond light to all. Grace was wrapped around my arm. Oh, lovely. That's a cat. That's another kitty cat who loved it. So that's fantastic. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, please feel free to share whatever. It'd be wonderful if there's also things that I can share with others in the newsletter, True Gift of Peace. Thank you. Peace and power. You wouldn't think that they would go together, but they are just so much. So I'm going to officially stop the recording. Thank you. Love you all. I love you all, even those of you, yeah,